One second. And we back with sound. So we good with sound. I think we had lost sound for a minute. But what we want to do, we want to show you the difference between commentary and how people like to do inductive studies. And I'm going to show you the difference between that and precept study. And why it's more important to always to do it based on precept studies, because it's extremely important. And I'm going to be setting up, let me get some of these here to where we're going to get set up, and we're going to go through these scriptures, and then we're going to look at the precept side. I mean, we're going to look at the commentary side first, and then I'm going to take you over to the precept side. So everybody who do not have a preceptor, easiest thing to do, go to the Moab. Go to the Moab, you go to the top, you'll click up there, and that'll allow you to go over there and precept with it. It's a precept light one, but it has 2 Bibles at the bottom, and it has a preceptor light at the top. So it'll allow you to do that. Now, if you register there, it'll allow you also to save your work. But if you don't register, you can go in there and put all the information in there, but it won't allow you to save. So once you leave, all that information will go away. So as we're going to be doing it, I'm going to get ready to get myself out of the way, but I'm going to be coming in and out to where we can actually look at what we need to be doing. And I'm going to move myself out of the way, and we're going to go to Genesis 6 and 9. So, and what I'm using here, I'm using the Bible Hub is what we're going to be going through. We're going to look at Bible Hub. And what we want to do all together, we want to look at exactly what the scripture says. We want to see what it says. And we're going to see this right here. And it says, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And here's the thing right here. Here's your key right here. And Noah walked with God. And actually, I'm going to enlarge this sound to where I can make sure you guys can see it pretty good. So just in case people is having problems seeing it, I'm enlarging this sound to where we can make sure everybody sees it. So we do know that he walked with God. Now, one of the main problems here is we using different ones, and this one here is using a Schofield, and this is his notes. So what I want you to do, I don't want you to technically write down what he's saying, but what I do want you to do is understand how they are setting this up. Because I was going to start with this other one first, but we don't have a problem going with the Schofield first. I do not have a problem with that, because the Schofield is one I do know a lot of people do like to use those notes, but we're going to find some problems with that one. We're going to find some problems with that one that we're going to find with some other ones. Because if you look down here, and this is the commentary, basically based from this here. This is the commentary based on what they're going to do here, because they keying in on walked. That's what they're doing. And it says, and Noah, it says Noah and Enoch are 2 I can't even hardly pronounce that, Angevilians, of whom it said they walked with God. So we're going to look at this. See, because this is a whole bunch of craziness what they're going to get into. It says translated. So now they're going to say translated. So they know Enoch was translated and that he should not see death. But see right here where he's using Hebrews 11:5. So what we're going to do, we do know with them using this commentary, they're saying Enoch was translated. So now we're looking at walked with God, but they moving over to translate it. So what you want to do, just to show you how they work it, I need to pull up another Bible to where we can do this, to where I can show you online exactly what's going on. So what I might do, what I actually am going to do, I'm going to pull up another Bible and to where you can actually see it. That's the easiest way to do it, to pull up another Bible. And let me pull up another Bible right here. And we're going to look at that. And we're going to go to Hebrews 6 and 9. I mean, well, no, it says Hebrews 11 and 5. So we're going to go there. We need to look at that. We need to look at Hebrews 11 and 5. And this is stuff that you don't need to write down. This is stuff to where they're showing you their commentary on what they do to keep you technically in confusion. Because we're going to look at a couple of them that's there. And I do know people love Schofield Bibles. I know that's big. Okay, so 11 and 5. It says, by faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because God has translated him. Before his translation, he had a testimony that he pleased God. So it tells you two things, which is a side note. One, before he died, it's telling you, and that was his testimony, that he pleased God. So now you have people who says Enoch has books, and that's his testimony right there. So one, it makes no sense. But we got to go back here, and now all it's saying is translated, but it's still not telling you what he did here, how he walked with God. See, these are the things where we have to open up our mind, and you have to be dogmatic on this, because we got to know that God is not changing. So if he's not changing, we need to know, how did they walk with God? So just as I said, some people just joining in, we're going to go through the commentary first to show you the heresy, and then we'll show you the precept understanding. So now we see walked with God also is using Genesis 5:24. Let's go look at Genesis 5:24, and let's see, can we get some better understanding on how to walk with God? Because we need to know how to walk with God. And you need to put that in there, because we're going to be putting that actually in our preceptor. And it says, in all the days of Adam lived 900, wait a minute, is that right? I hope that's right. And that's 5:24. Okay, so I was wrong. Let's go down to 24. It says, Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. So again, we're trying to find how he walked. We need to, okay, so if you're going to walk with God, we need to know how. How to walk with God. And same as they're using this key here. Walk with God. We're not finding. So far, we finding places where they walk, but we don't know how. So let's look at another one. And it says, now it says, becomes a type of saint who will be caught up before the great tribulation. Now this they added, because they saying they walk with God, but they got caught up before the great tribulation. Okay, now they're talking about something that we don't know nothing about. But they saying before the great tribulation. But we're still trying to find out this. So now we're going to look at this here, this great tribulation. Just we need to find out to see if it can help us find what we're looking for. And this is what we need to know. Okay, so it's saying right here, it's in 1 Thessalonians 4:14 through 17. It says, for if we believe that Yahushua or Jesus died and rose, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will God bring with him. Then it goes on more. In this we say, unto you by word of Yahweh, that we are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahweh, shall not prevent them which are asleep. For Yahweh himself shall descend from heaven, and shall shout with his voice, the archangel, and the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Now, this is the problem. Why? Okay, they done went from, we trying to find out how to walk with God, but right now they being, as they got in the parentheses, they got caught up. You see, this is the, so we're not finding out exactly what is actually happening. So we're not seeing how to actually walk with God. So let's find out. Okay, they have Revelations 3 and 10. Well, let's see if this help us out, because we need to find out how to walk with God. We're looking at Genesis 6 and 9. So we're looking at this. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay, we got to go back. Okay, now, is this helping us find out that Noah was a perfect man in his generation and he walked with God? Right now, they done ran us to something else. We'll look at Daniel 12 and 1. Hopefully, this will settle it. And we're going to look at it. In Daniel 12 and 1, and it tells you, and at the time shall Michael stand up, that great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall the time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Okay. Have that explained to you how to walk with God? No. It's still not telling us anything on how to walk with God. So let's look at this one here, because it seems like we have about 3 more, but we might not go through. We might just go look at them because it's getting them more confusing. So we're going to look at Matthew 24 and 21. Let's see if this is going to show us anything on how to walk, or even how they walked with God. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, for this time, no, nor even shall be. So again, if I ask you how to walk with God, would that even make sense? No, it wouldn't make no sense to you. Why? Because at no time still is telling you how to walk with God. So it goes on more. It says Noah, preserved through the flood, is a type of Israelitish people. You see this? Israelitish, they put in this characteristic. Israelitish. See, that's a problem within itself. But we're going to move forward because we're not going to hone in and just pick that apart. Because we're trying to find out how to walk with God, because we need to see how Noah did it. And right so far, we haven't found it. And it says the people who will be preserved through the tribulation. We have another tribulation, which is showing you over here in Jeremiah that they have posted up here. And we are trying to, let me see. Let's see if we can get this, Jeremiah 30. And we're going to see here, it says, for thus saith the Lord, we have heard the voice and trembling in fear and not of peace. Ask ye now, see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all her face is turned into paleness. Elias, for that day is great, so that none is like it, is even this the time of Jacob trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass, for in that day said Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yokes off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and the strangers shall no more serve themselves for him, but they shall serve Yahweh their God, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Again, walk with God? Nothing. This hopefully Psalms. It would show us something. But I want you to understand this is the Schofield Commentary, which is the very popular Bible I know that's out there. And it says, then shall we speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them with his sore displeasure. So again, it's not helping us. And the last one is Revelation 7:14, which these are not helping us at all to find out how to walk with God, because that's what we're trying to find out. It says, and I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, there are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So the entire part, we went and looked at all their commentaries and all their verses that they're using. And so far, we have not found anything where it helped us. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at even another commentary to see if it'll do it. We're going to go, and this another one is this, we're going to look at the commentary. All you do is click here. I had to learn how to do this one, but it's okay. And now we're over here with the King James translator notes. Now we need to take a note here. Why? Because we need to understand what they're doing here. This translator note it'll make it appear as they got the translator notes from the people who translated the King James Bible, and that's not true. But that's what they put there, and they don't have to explain it. But then you will think that is what they're saying, and that's not what this is. This is their notes. This is their notes, and they just put this there. So it says again in the translator note, it says, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation, and Noah walked with God. And all it's saying is perfect and upright. So when we try to find out how Noah walked with God, that didn't help us. Because we need to find out how he did it. We need to find out how he did it. So we're going to go over to another commentary. And we're going to look at Elkatis. Let me see. Let me go get to him. I know we had him in here. Yeah. Okay. We at the other one. We're going to go down to Genesis 6 and 9. And hopefully this will get us to it. Because people, they're going to do these studies, and we need to find out how to walk with God. So we back here, Genesis 6 and 9. And same thing, and he walked with God. And it's in generation of Noah, 6 and 9. Then it has 9:28. So it's telling you about the generations of Noah. But it says Noah was a just and perfect man in his generation. Just. So they honing in on just. Is literally righteous. So they telling you it's righteous, but they're not telling you but they're not proving anything to you. You follow me? So it says, one whose actions were sufficiently upright to exempt him from the punishment inflicted upon the rest of mankind. Perfect means sound, healthy. They're giving you the meanings, but they're not showing you how they get into these with the understanding, because this is not what it means. But they're going to tell you this is what it means. And then it says, conveys no idea of sinlessness. And to answer in the Latin, this is where it actually get really weird. Whence are words integrity and imperfections. So what we're going to look at is some of the words that they want to use. We're going to look at some of the words that they want to use. Deroth is one. So we're going to look at this. We're going to see what this is saying. And it's saying this is not the same word in the beginning of the verse. And basically, this is not talking about nothing, but just, I think I remember how to do this. I believe I remember how to do this. I believe I have to go over to their, I believe I got to go to their Greek translations. I believe that's what I had to do the last time. I'm not sure. Let me see. I'm hoping that's it, but I'm not sure. If not, I will pass out of this. And no, actually, this is wrong. If I tell you, I think it's out of the Strong. Let me go back here. I do apologize for that part because I don't use these, but I actually practiced on this thing to make sure I can get to it. And okay, let me put that word in there. I believe I found it. Okay, so let's sit there and see, is this it? Well, right now it's saying the word is not found. Let me try this one. Let's try this and see, will this take care of it? No. Okay, still not finding it. But let's go to Strong's and see what Strong's got to say about it. And we'll see what their Strong says. And we'll sit there and we'll see in their Strong, with their Strong. So let's go to 6. And we'll go to 9. We'll see if we can pull it that way and see what they actually is saying. And I think they so heavily got advertising on here, it's kind of stops stuff from going. And 6, okay, is it gonna do 6-2? Okay, yeah, do 6-2, okay. So I gotta go to 6 and 9. And we're gonna go to 6 and 9. And we're gonna look at this. And we want to find out exactly what they're using, so we'll find out what they're doing here. Okay, we have 6 and 9. Okay, so it's using the same words that they're saying that they spoken about. Technically, what they're doing, and what we want to do is one, is they using close to this one, and they're saying this is a result. But you got to remember what they're doing. They're using modern. They're using modern Greek and Hebrew. So technically, I do not actually see their words. So I have to go back and figure what happened there. But literally the words that they're using in here is not actually helping us to find out anything. But technically what they're doing, they're running you on another puppy dog trail, because simply means in contemporaries, and because he walked with God. So, and then it notes it back to 5:22, which is Genesis 5:22, which literally I wanted to show you which they're doing. They really just run you around to where you thinking you're doing this super deep study, and now they referencing Enoch walked with God. So if they referencing him that he walked with God, and this is what they're using, this is what they're basing everything on, how is this? So we don't know how Enoch walked with God. We don't know how anyone walked with God so far, because we don't know what they did. So let's go over to another one. Let's look at another commentary. We're going to go over to the Cambridge. We're going to look at the Cambridge Bible for the commentary. We're going to go over to that one, and we're going to look at it, and we need to find out exactly what's going on. So now we're using the Cambridge, and this is the Cambridge colleges. So this is the school and colleges which is going to use. So we're going to find out and see and hope that this actually is going to show us something that is more in depth to help us to pull this out. in 6 and 5. We got to go down to 6 and 9. In 6:9, and it says the same thing. You know, it tells you right there. Now it says the heading superscription in the section of narrative, and it's a in the narrative of Genesis 2 and 4, and we want to see what it just says in 2:4. Let's just look over there what 2:4 has to say. And we're going to see right there. It says, these are the generations of the heaven and the earth, and they were created in the day that the Lord God made the heavens and the earth. Okay. So far, still nothing. Then it got a righteous man. Then they want to go to Sadiq, which they still using. They want to use, you know, Hebrew and Greek type words to try to make you think that you're doing a deeper study, and you're technically not doing anything, because all they're doing is just telling you the same thing. Like if somebody told you your name, same thing like somebody tell me my name is Michael, but then I come over in France, they say, okay, you know, over here your name is Michelle. Technically, that's all they're doing here, not telling you what you really, the meat on what you really need to know how to apply something of a belief. He walked with God. So it says, which occupies the importance in the biblical, and there go your key right there, theology. That's a theory on what they believe would happen, or what this is. It says occurs in the first time in the sense in the reticule, and uprightness, and derived from the idea. So it's derived from the root idea of straightness. It's a theory that they using. They telling you right here, you know, I don't know what to say from that point. But then it says, and they use Noah again in 7:1, and then in Ezekiel 14:14. So in the main thing what we're doing, I just want to show you how commentaries keep you on a puppy dog trail. And it says, these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, that they should be delivered by their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord God. So again, it's not telling us anything. Actually, well, I'll tell you what, they got 14:20. Let's jump down to 14:20. So we'll just look at the whole chapter. And it says, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord God, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter, they shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. So again, and Noah is mentioned in Daniel, Job, and preeminent of his righteousness. And then now they're also using Sirach, which they're actually going into the Apocrypha. And to show you, to prove that to you, in which it should make a lot of those 66 Bible book believers, it should make them mad, because they say those books are not real, but you can see they actually using it. And this is telling you clear as day. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 44:17. And it's telling you right there, Noah was found perfect and righteous, and in the time of wrath, he was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore, he was left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came. So again, we still don't know how he did it. We still don't know how he did this, because he's not telling us anything. All we finding out, he was perfect. Let's see, and he was exchanged for the world, and then it's also referencing this for exchange for the world. But now, as it goes down, the word perfect. Now, look how they start trying to break all these down and using perfectious and all these Latin words and these Greek words that they're using. They want to use these words perfectious, which mean without flaw. Okay, what do perfect mean? It's perfect. It's saying the same thing. But why are they putting this here? Because it makes people to where they can get in front of you and say, you know, it's, you know, in the Greek it's saying perfectious. It's perfectious, and they doing these words and make you think you're doing something more deep, and then you want to write it down and put all this, which still makes, And tamin, that is not what the Hebrew word for blameless is. But just the point. They like to use these things, but then they'll make you think. Like, oh man, I'm doing this real serious Bible study. But it's the same thing to men. Let's say that you held to this, and you got to write this next to your perfect. Or you just write it down. Do you know what to men is going to mean later? No. Because it's talking about a Hebrew meaning to them and given to you on what that word actually means, when you need to know what perfect means in the language that you speak. That's the important part. And without flaw, in the ritual term of animals for sacrifice, perfect means free from blemish. Interesting. That's really interesting. So, and it says, and it's transferred in with morals and denotes integrity in the accounts of Job, where it talks about Job. But then in his generation, among the people of his own generation, different word in Hebrew. So again, they telling you, and they making different things, but this is the one we still want to find out. They keep it here and walked with God. We need to find out how. How do they walk with God? And it tells you right here. See note in Genesis 22, 5, 22, and 24. So we can go over here and let's see, hopefully this will pull it for us. 5, 22, 24. And we'll look at the main thing. We're going to pull that commentary right back up, and we're going to look at it. So we with that one. We with that commentary there. Actually, he's not showing much. Okay, let's see. Why is this? They have a lot of advertising over here. I should have found a better one. But I know we got to go down to 522 to 24. Actually, it is nothing there. Okay. It is nothing there. Okay, so let's go back. So we'll go back and we'll see. So it says C note, but it's nothing there. But that's okay. And we'll look at account, and Noah was righteous, perfect, walking with God. So he was walking with God, embraces the three aspects of good and devout character, just, purity, holiness. So now they're doing some more introductions and they bringing other stuff into it, but they're not telling you on how you walk with God. Because you don't know what God meaning of just is. You don't know what God meaning is purity is. You don't know what God meaning of holiness is, which is not talking to, he said he walked with God. So we need to know how to walk with God, but they telling you what they believe is what it is and how you need to do it. So it says even more in the introduction to the story of the flood. In P, observe that whereas J begins, so now they jumping you around again, begins with corruption of the human race and closes with the mention of Noah. P begins with the mention of Noah and continues in the corruption of the human race. So again, you should be more confused on how to walk with God. You should be more confused on how to walk with God. Because so far they still haven't told you anything. Still so far they haven't told you nothing. So let's look at one or two more. We're going to go to Benson Commentary. We're going to look at that one. Hopefully it'll clear it up. And one of these commentaries to do it. But in all these commentaries, they use some of the best company commentaries, 6 and 9 we need. And most of these that they're using top people commentaries. So we should be able to find something to help us. So it says, Noah was a just man, justified. So they clarifying what they say, justified before God by faith in the promised seed. Okay, now they're introducing this promised seed, and they enter in by faith. Now they interjecting in more stuff, even with the justified. They introducing these other keys to pull you to what they believe what's going on, and not telling you how he was a just man or even walked with God. But watch what's going to go on. It says, and he was an heir of righteousness, which is by faith. So how he became an heir? They introducing things that is just total laid out silliness. So it's saying, which by faith, which is telling you right back what we had earlier, Hebrews 11:7. So we'll go back over to Hebrews 11:7 just to recap what 11:7 said. Because we want to give them the entire thing. It says, by faith, being warned of God of things not yet seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to save to the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. So again, he's using the wrong things. He's telling you something after the fact. That's why I say this is wrong. We're going to find all this out. Why? Because you see he was an heir. How did he become an heir? That's why I say they're wrong. It makes no sense. Because now he's being justified, the promise. They're saying all these things, and right all through this, they're going to run the rhetoric of telling you on how they did something, and you don't know how they did it. Because they go even more. It says, in the right principles in the disposition implanted in him. How? Now they're telling you it had the right principles and disposition implanted in him. How? They telling you everything and not showing you how nothing was done. So now they want you to believe what they're saying. And then it says, and he was righteous in his conversation. So now they say he was even righteous in his conversation. How do they know this? They implying that even in this conversation, and they don't know. And it says, one that made conscious of rendering to all their due, and God his due, and to man theirs. How? And he walked with God as Enoch done before his generation, even in that corrupt, degenerate age. So they keep referencing Enoch, and Enoch clearly did something different. How is evidence in what went on? See, because they're going to reference him, and they want to sit there and put him almost on the same everything on what Enoch did, and Enoch didn't start walking with God till he was 65. Let's look at this. See, because they keep referencing him as he had done in actually just 4. Should have went to 4. And oh no, I was right. I was right. And let's move down. And move down, move down. And here we go. And let's see. And it says, and Enoch. And Enoch lived 60 and 5 years and begot Methuselah. Before that time, he wasn't walking with God. Why? And it says, and Enoch walked with God. How? After he begot Methuselah. After he did this. So people say, oh no, he walked with God all the time. No, he didn't. After he begot Methuselah. 365 years, that's how long he walked with God after that. So people will tell you, oh no, he always walked with God. No, after. Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah. So why are they using this here? Because in the Bible, it uses Enoch just saying he walked with God. But they using this as Noah walked the same as with Methuselah, saying like after 65 years, he started walking with God. So you have to look at the point on what it's saying. The same as it's saying God with us, as people sit there and say Yahweh's name or Jesus' name is Emmanuel, and it's not saying that. It's just letting you know Emmanuel, that the scripture was fulfilled, talking about Emmanuel, just saying God with us. God with, that's, it's just telling you what it means. Not giving you a name. But this is what people are doing. So we having a problem here because we cannot find out anything. We can't find anything so far on anything that we're looking for. So how can we rectify this? We went. Because if we look and you go through the commentaries, and there's tons of them there. You go through the commentary, and many people have paid, purchased commentary. You're going to go through many of it. And you're not going to find what you're looking for. Why? Because this is what it does. It runs you into confusion, into more confusion, than they give you their thoughts. And we can't have your thoughts in the Bible. So what I want you to do, everybody who has their commentaries, you seeing what's going on. And if you're looking at the same verse, you see it. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the Preceptor. We're going to use the Bible Preceptor. It's something you can do. Right now, I do know we have it set a certain way to where you actually can't purchase it anymore online. So you have to go over to the Moab, and you have to send it in through the to the P.O Box to our address to send it in, based on a lot of stuff that went on. But what we're going to do here, we're going to look at the Preceptor. We're going to go through it, and we're going to find out, can we find out through the Preceptor? And the Preceptor not going to, we're going to come up with our own stuff, and we're going to do our own study, and we're going to see through the Preceptor, how can we walk with God? Because this is what we need. This is the question: how to walk with God. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the Preceptor. Let's go. sorry about that. I had to go back. I appreciate, and I had some of my students go in and get some of the stuff straight. So I don't know what happened, but my sound went out. So what I'm doing, I don't know how long it had actually been out. So what I would do, I go back, I recap what I said, because I went out and I appreciate my students dearly. I do, I really do, because many of them called and let me know that they were saying they couldn't hear me. So I'm gonna tell you, my students, I appreciate them dearly, love them dearly, and I really appreciate them helping me out. So what is going on? I want to make sure that that they're going on. So if you give me 1 second, and I want to make sure, and that's going on. I want to give me 1 quick second, and I want to make sure that they can hear. Okay, so everything's good. All right. Yeah. So everything is good now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna recap what went on and what was happening. So what I might need to do in doing that, and basically I probably have to go all the way back, because when I pulled the Preceptor up, a lot of this went out. So I'm pretty sure, and that's probably ever since the Preceptor went up. So what I do, I'm gonna recap those. I don't have a problem. We'll recap everything that we have up in here. So basically what was going on. And it says, what we want to do is know how to walk with God. So this is what you should put in your first section, how to walk with God. That should be in your first section, how to walk with God. So that should be in there. So that should be in your first position on how to work with God in your Preceptor. That should be how to walk with God in your Preceptor. And I'm going to recap this because I don't know how much of it that did not people see. So, I mean, was able to hear. So we're going to recap all of it. So once you put that there, and the same thing what I did here, we went to Exodus 19:5. In Exodus 19:5, we know what he said there, but I'm not putting it up here because this is just for us to keep in our mind. Just for us to keep in our mind. Why? Because what he says in Exodus, and we're gonna look at Exodus and we want to see what he's saying there, and we're going to understand completely, and then from there we'll know why we need to stay the way we need to stay. It says, now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, if you will obey my voice indeed, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. So if you're going to do this, we have to keep his covenant. But he's telling you the key thing, we have to obey his voice. So that's why we're going to put this here, and that's why I have that there. We don't have to put it up here. Because the main thing is to obey his voice. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back. We're going to, same thing like I said, we're going to recap everything to where we can catch everybody up and make sure everybody understands what's going on. So with that, we're going to put in Leviticus chapter 18, verse 4. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 4. And then you're going to see why I added 5, because I did 5 afterwards. It says in Leviticus chapter 18, verse 4, it says, ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your God. So if we got to obey him, he's telling you who he is. He's Yahweh, our God, and we have to obey him. So we have to do his judgments, which is all his ordinances. So we have to perform these, and we have to walk in this way. Is what he's saying. And then it says, ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahweh. You see that? That's why I added 5. So we have to be performing something, which is ordinances, which is when you want to translate it in our normal way, or if you're talking to your child, and they say, well, Mommy, I don't know, or Daddy, I don't know what an ordinance is. Just say, these are applications. These are something that we have to apply in our lives. And we have to apply in our life. All we're saying is, these are things that he's requiring us to do. So when you're doing something, and if I tell you to go wash the dishes, and you go wash the dishes, you are applying what I just told you what to do. You're applying that to that. Why? Because it'll do you well to do it. Because if you don't do it, I'm going to punish you for that. So you have to apply that, what I told you what to do, you have to apply that to your life. I tell you, okay, go take your baths at 7 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock you go take your bath. You're applying that to your life, so it'll do you well, so I won't get upset and I will have to punish you later for not applying that on what I commanded you what to do. Same thing. That's why it's an ordinances. It's an application of what you're going to be doing. So that's what's going on there. Now, we also use Deuteronomy 5:33. And watch this again. It says, ye shall walk in all thy ways, which Yahweh your God hath commanded you, that ye may live, that it may be well with you, that ye may prolong your days in the land which ye shall possess, that you shall possess. So he's telling you, so you have to walk in the ways which he commands. So he only can command you because he has to voicefully tell you this, and you see it in his word. And it gets better because we're going to go down to Deuteronomy 10:12. Watch how he do this. It says, and now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee? So we want to know what is required of him for us to do what need to be done. We have to do what's required. And what do he say? He says more. But to fear the Lord thy God, so we know, one, we have to fear him. And some people might put this down, and you more than well, you might put this down here, because actually let's do this to where we'll understand even better. So we're going to understand a couple of things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to properties. And we're going to go to properties, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put right here, I'm going to put requirements. Just put that there. Now you see right there it's requirement. So we know requirements is based on what? We know this based on Deuteronomy. So we know this based on Deuteronomy. Now why is showing this wrong? I know this. I know it's spelled right. Spelled well. However, I know I spelled it right, but it's showing wrong for some reason. But anyway, we're going to do Deuteronomy 10:12. So we're going to look at requirements. Actually, we're going to do this here. Requirements. Why does it keep showing like these are spelled wrong? Oh, okay. Oh, I did do that one wrong. Okay. So we're going to look at one, requirements. He says to fear the Lord thy God. So that's requirement 1. All right. Now we're going to look at, is there 2? We don't know yet. Let's read on. It says to walk in all his ways. So now we have to walk in all his ways. So that's 2. So now we know we have to walk in all his ways. And then let's see, is there number 3? To love him. So we know we have to love him. or you can put I like to make a real big difference in showing you exactly who. To love who? To love the Most High God of Israel. So to love him, and is there a fourth thing? To serve him. Uh-oh. So now we know this. To serve. So we know this is all there too. So we have to serve the Lord thy God. But it says more. So we need to stop that and clarify it, because it's going to clarify, so we need to put a colon there. What? How? With all thy heart and soul. So now we know. And this is a requirement. And actually, I want this pop-up to stay out there. All this stuff is going to pop up. So let me just get rid of these, and then now my stuff will stay there. So now we know this is a requirement in Deuteronomy 10:12. But this is just to keep us knowing what is happening. That's all. So now I know this is a requirement to love. And to love, now I can go down here to the requirement, and I see, one, we have to fear the Lord thy God, I have to walk in all his ways, I have to love him, and to serve the Most High God of Israel. How? With all their heart and all their soul. So if I'm going to do it with all my heart and all my soul, that's automatically going to show you one thing about it. That's showing your total love is to him. So this is how we do that. Now, we also use another one. We also used another one. We used Leviticus. We used Leviticus 26 and 12. Right there. 26 and 12. And how did we come with that? How did that come about? And it says, and now, Israel, what do the Lord thy God require of thee? And actually, wait 1 second, that didn't go over. Let me see. Now, there we go. It says, and I will walk among you, and will be your God, and ye my people. So, better yet, put here, he's God. And actually, better yet, I can put it down here, because I won't be able to get in all what I want to do. I won't be able to get in all what I want to do. So, actually, let me put another one up. Let me let these. In. Okay, now let me, okay, so now all these are set. So what I want to do is do another, well, I can actually even do it here. So I'm going to take this out because I already have it down there. Now, so we know here, the Most High, and I'm going to do it this way for a reason. The Most High, the Most High God is the God of Israel. All right? We're doing this for a reason. So he's saying he's going to walk and we'll be the people in Israel. Israelites, oh shoots. Israelites are the people. So they are the servants. So we know in Israel, Israelites are the people, servants. So now this we know. This is clear. And how do we know this? We're going to reference Leviticus 26 and verse 12. That's why. So we know the Most High God, he's the God of Israel. He's God. In Israel, Israelites are the people. He's the head. We are his people. We are his servants. Because he tells you right there. He tells you. How do we know this? How do we know we are his servants? It tells you this right here. To serve, over in Deuteronomy, to serve the Most High God of Israel. It's making this clear all the time. So if he and we supposed to serve him, then we are the ones need to make sure that we follow him in all his ways. Now it has a little bit more we got to go through. We're going to go to Deuteronomy. We're going to look at Deuteronomy, and we're going to go to 13 and 14. Let's look at that and see what that is speaking of. 13 and 14. It says, then shalt thou require to make search and ask diligently, and behold, if it be true, and the things certain, such as abomination, is wrought among you. Why is it saying that there? Because we need to understand certain things. You're going to ask him why. You need to understand what he's saying. So if you should, thou shalt require to make search and ask diligently. Why? You want to know which way you should go and which way you should not go. Because he have his ways and the world have their ways. Now you can put that in there if you want. And most people are not going to want to put that there. But you have to require diligently. Why? You want to put this, actually, let's do it this way. Let's put it here, because I'm going to put the other one above. We're going to put 13, 14 here. Actually, we're going to tell you what, I can do it another way. I can just add it over here. I'm going to put it before it, because I'm going to put the other one before it. And it's 13, 4, and then I'm going to put 14. 13, 14. So we'll do it that way. I just kind of went around another way, but let's go over here and let's look at this. So let's look at verse 4. Why? Because we have to acquire stuff diligently. So at 4, it says, ye should walk after Yahweh your God. So if you need to know, you have to ask. You have to be diligent in what you're doing. Now you follow me. So if you're going to do this, so this is why I really still prefer to put that in front. I just prefer to put that in front because it makes it a little bit more clear. Just makes it more clear. And what most people find out, well, no, it's going down. No, the Bible is not written chronologically. They'll tell you that. Christians will tell you that, but the Bible is not written chronologically. However, back in 14, back in 4, it says, ye shall walk after Yahweh your God and fear him, going right back to the same thing, which you see in 10:12, and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice. everything that we've been saying. See Exodus 19, verse 5. And ye shall serve him. What do Deuteronomy 10:12 tell you? And cleave to him. So guess what? It got even more to it. So guess what? So we know this is clarifying some stuff for us. So what we're going to do, we're going to put 5. Right here in 12. So we got to cleave to him. And I'll show you. And this is what you do. Deuteronomy, and we're going to use 13, verse 4. And that just clarifies it. So we know we're going to cleave to him. So we know all this is there. Because we have to understand that it's a double-edged sword we're dealing with. Meaning what? We know, okay, if we do good to him, we're good. But if we do bad to him, it's a double-edged sword. And it cuts deep. And it cuts deep. Cut deep inside of it, because the Most High God of Israel, we enter into a contract with him. So we have to look at all this as a whole. And as we're looking at all this as a whole, we have to understand we're under a contract. We're under a contract. And as we understand that we're in this contract, we have to understand in the contract that with this, we have to honor it. So if we have to honor this contract, we want to know the details of it, because we have to walk in this contract. So if we walk in the contract, we want to know the details. So that's why we have to ask diligently on what is right and what is wrong. Because if we don't know, we don't know. He cannot sit there and tell you, walk with me, and we don't know how. See, but this is what those commentaries were doing. They just saying you walk with God, and they're not telling you how. Now you know you have to obey his voice, keep his commandments. It's telling you clearly how to walk with God. It's giving you details, and you can go and you're going to get more and more detail on how to do it. But that's where a lot of this stuff you guys are going to pull. We're going to pull some more stuff in here, but that's where you guys are going to pull how to walk with God. But he's telling you, you have to obey him, keep his commandments, and you have to serve him, and don't serve other gods. He's very clear on what he's saying. So we're going to pull some more here and get some more information right there on what is actually happening. We need to understand all the time what he's saying here. So we need to get this, because you're under a contract. You're under a covenant. So you have to follow this covenant. Now we're going to go to a place to where we're going to find some of this, and we're going to get the understanding. We're going to go over to Nehemiah. We're going to get some of this information. We're going to go to 10. We're going to go to 28 through 30. Nehemiah 10. And we might have to put a note there just so we can remember. Just might have to put a note there. It says, in the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the porters, the singers, the Nephilims, on how they want to tell you, Nephilims is these giant, no, Nephilims are temple servants. And it tells you this even right here. And it says, in all they that had separated themselves from the people, which he tells you because you got to cleave to him, in the land until the law of God. You have separated yourselves from the land here unto the law of God, the Spirit. Who? Their wives, their sons, and their daughters, everyone having knowledge and having understanding. How are you going to get this? You don't get this unless you ask to where you can adhere to it, to where you can apply it in your life. And if you notice here, You have not went nowhere outside the Bible. Nowhere. You pull in all your commentaries and everything you need to know and how to understand the Bible directly from here. How to walk with God. Oh, well, he requires. If you're going to walk with God, you got the requirements. You got to fear him. You got to walk in his ways. You got to love him. You got to serve him with all your heart, mind, and soul. And you got to cleave to him. You got verses backing you up everywhere. Everywhere. Well, and so what is that? You have to walk in his way. You have to do the ordinances. Why? Leviticus 18:4-5 tells you that. It tells you that. Well, I believe it's to do it this way. No. He tells you in Exodus 19:5, you have to obey his voice. They can't get around you because now you know exactly how to walk with God. You never left out the book. You never left out the book. But let's move forward. It says, in having understanding, they cleave unto their brethren, their nobles, and to enter into a curse, because the contract is a curse. So remember that. Most people don't know that, but you enter into a curse. Why? In an oath. So, because it has a good side and it has a bad side. The bad side is if you don't do them, once you enter into it, it's a curse. You do them, it's an oath, the way you know the good side that's going to come out of it. But most people don't know that. But now you know that. So we're going to put this here. You want to put that there. And yeah, that's what I was afraid of. But we know it's a curse and an oath. We know that. Now we know it's a curse and an oath. And watch, to walk in God's law, which was given by Moses, the servant of God, and to observe and do all the commandments of the Lord your Lord, in his judgment and his statutes, not of some man's. Not of some man's. Same as Abraham and same as Moses, they give you things, they being messengers delivering you a message. And that ye will not give our daughters unto the people of the land, nor their daughters unto your sons. You're not to do these things. Why? Because you're going to walk in the laws of God. This is what he commanded. Now this should be more clear. Because now we know how to walk with God. It gets even better because we're going to look at Ezekiel, and it's all through Scripture, but we're going to go to Ezekiel, and we're going to look at Ezekiel, and we're going to look at 11 and verse 20. 11 and verse 20. What do Ezekiel have to say on this matter, on how to walk with God? That they may walk in my statutes and keep my ordinances. It's running you right back to Leviticus. And do them. They shall be my people, I will be their God. Didn't we just see this all through Scripture? You see how he's constantly just repeating himself constantly. Constantly. See, now people might you might put little notes there, because I put the little notes here, and you put notes there if you want to put a note there. You doing? And you're gonna another way I do it is keep his. So right there, I know it's keep his commandments. I do that a lot of times when I need to Just abbreviate. How? Because if you keep them, who are you following? If you keep his commandments, then you have to understand, if you keeping his commandments, you have to follow God. Are you following what he's saying there? Then you have to follow God. So if you're not going to follow God, then that's where you're going to run into your problems. Follow God. So if you're going to follow God, you're going to keep his commandments, you're going to cleave to him, you're going to serve him. So you're following how this is actually producing itself, because this is how it's actually working. So if we're going to do these things, we got to make sure he's requiring something. So if he requires something, he wants you to obey him, so he don't want you to obey any other spirit. You got to obey him. You got to cleave to him. So he's going to show you why he's saying it even in that way, because we have to understand why he wants these things done in that manner. Most people don't know, but he wants this stuff done in that manner. Because if we're going to cleave to him, we have another part in here which we need to understand and do. So if we cleave into God, we need to know how. So we're going to go to Psalms. Let's go to Psalms. And what we're going to do? 23 in verse 3. Let's go to Psalms and read Psalms 23 and verse 3, because now most people don't understand the verse, but now you're going to understand the verse. And it says, he restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of what? Of righteousness. So if you're following God, he's going to take you in the path of what? Of righteousness. For his name's sake. Are you following it? Are you following it? And what we're going to do, we're going to add a little bit another one. Because we need to add that right to it. Verse 4. Why? Because, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, is where you are right now, I will fear no evil. Why? Because you're following God. You should fear no evil because you're keeping his commandments. I should fear no evil because I'm serving God. I should fear no because I cleave to God, the God of Israel, the Most High God. So what you going to fear for? You following him. These are things that you see right there, all in front of you. And if you walking in his ways, so that walking in his ways, you know you keeping his commandments, why are you going to fear anything else? You should fear no evil. And he said he's going to lead you into the path of what? Of righteousness. Of righteousness he's going to lead you. Meaning what? Meaning what? Let's look at this. Let's see meaning what. We're going to go right back down to Deuteronomy chapter 6, 23 to 25. Deuteronomy chapter 6, 23 to 25. Because we need to know, he said in Revelation, in Psalms, he leadeth us in the path. He says, so if he leadeth us in the path, he brought us out from thence. He leadeth us and he leadeth us out. That he might bring us in to where he can bring us into him and give us the land which he sware unto our fathers. And who, Yahweh, commanded us to do all these statutes, as he's been saying the entire time, to fear him. We already got that in Deuteronomy 10:12. for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day. And watch that key in verse 25. And what? It shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all his commandments before our Lord, our God, have commanded us. Why? Psalms 23, verse 3. He leadeth us in the path of what? Righteousness. In righteousness. It's all connected. It's all connected all the time. All the time. It's always connected. And we need to understand even more. So we know righteousness is what? We need to understand what righteousness is. So we're going to go to Psalms. And I know some people, I know right where you're going, know right where you're going. Okay, let's find out. Let's find out. We're going to go to Psalms 119, 142. Let's go there. And let's look at that. It says, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, in thy law is the truth, or the law is the commandments. That's all it's saying. But we have another one there, which is 172. Why? Because we have to do this preceptual study. And 172 tells us what? My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. So we have to obey his voice. Because all his commandments is righteousness. Not some. All of his commandments is righteousness. All of them. Are you seeing how that's working? So we need to see other ones that is there. Other ones that are there. So we need to add another one. We're going to put the song. Let's go down here and we're going to get that one in. Right here. And we're going to get that and we're going to do one. And that's the Prayer Azariah. 1, 3. So, what is that saying? What is this saying to us? What is this saying? It says, and they walked in the midst of the fire, praising God. So as we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, in the fire, and blessing God. Then Azariah stood up and prayed on this manner and opened his mouth in the midst of the fire. So we can open our mouth in the midst of fire, saying what? Blessed art thou, O Lord God of our fathers. Thy name is worthy to be praised and glorified forevermore. Because you can be there, but we're following who? We're following God. We're following God. So we're going to follow him on all things. One thing you always will remember, as long as you're following God, you will never lack anything that you ask for. So you need to put Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 7. And it says, for the Lord thy God hath blessed thee in all the works of thy hand. He knoweth thy walking through this great wilderness. So as we're going to walk through this great wilderness, we follow him, we cleave to him, we obey his voice. We do these things, even as it says here, these 40 years the Lord thy God have been with thee, thou hast lacked nothing. Why? Because he's with you. He's with you. So if he's with you, you would not lack nothing. This is the part of preceptual studies on what you need to know. Now we understand a little bit more when you want to know how to walk with God, and you see what they did. They telling you everything. This means that. This means, oh, this word, if you use this word, this goes this way. This is very serious, and this is where they run you on puppy dog trails. But as you see, you can see right there, as you just looked at it, you can see right now all the verses pulled, but you need to finish this out. So that's what I said we were going to do. This is the agreement that we're going to be making with each other, to where I'm going to start them off for you. But I need you to finish it out. I need you to sit with the Most High and ask him that, hey, I need to finish this out. I need you to show me what I need to do. Finish it out, because next week we will be on another subject. We're going to be going all through the Bible. So that's why I say, so if you don't have a preceptor, you can send a check of money order in the way you can get one. You know, but if not, if you can't afford it, you go right there to the Moab. Go right to the, actually, let me pull that up for you right now to stop the talking and just show it to you. Easier way to do it. That's the easier way to do it. So we'll do it that way. And actually, I'm kind of glad to get off this site. And let me go to the Moab. I'm going to go to the Moab and I'm going to show it to you. And show you exactly what you can do. Because if you cannot get it, then I'll show you another way you can do it. Then also, you know, you might also want to, actually, let me pull this up. And actually, you might also want to, if you want to get the Bible or whatever, you're more than welcome to do that also. And let me make sure this audio is set there. And it is set. And let me take off the one. And let me move this over. So if you go over to the Moab, and it's MOW, it's right up there. It's MOW-ED. And it's a protected site. So you can see the lock is protected. It's encrypted. So you're fine. So you don't have to worry about anything. But the main thing is once you come over here, once you're here and you want to do the studies with us, and you don't have a preceptor, you want to go here, you want to go to the Book of Remembrance, go to Study Bibles, you're going to click on that. Once you click on that, it's going to take you over here. And this is where you want to be. This is where the party starts. So what you'll do right here, you can put in right here. Now, you see right here, I've not logged in. So if I'm not logged in, all you ever see is submit. But if you register and you log in, you'll see submit and you also see save. You'll see a save button right there to where you can save it and come back and work on it at another time. You might work on it some today, come back in tomorrow, log back in, and all your work will still be there. And then once you finish, you can submit this, and then I can look at it, let you know if you need to adjust something or do whatever. Or some people might just want to screen capture this and email it. You can do that too. But what it'll allow you to do, it'll allow you to do the same thing. You can go right to how, you can put in your verses, you can put in what, you know, how to walk with God, and you have all your stuff right there. Same thing. So you can go right here and put in all the verses, go down, and you have enough lines to do it. You can put all your notes right there. Same thing is over here. So you have 3 places to put in your notes. Better yet, the same Bible which I use, you can go right here, and you can go right in here. You can go into the Bible, and the same thing, you can read the same identical things. So you'll see them right in here. You can do the searches in here, and you can search, and you can see this Bible not moving. So you can be using 2 Bibles at the same time. So you have that freedom. Now, also, you know, we do have the Precept Bible that's out there. So if you want to get that, that's fine. If not, don't worry about it. But the main part of it is make sure you get your studies done. Do your studies, because this is where you need to be understanding on what you need to be doing. So if you're not doing those, this can hurt you in the long run. So when you're trying to do your studies, you need to make sure everything is going through. So that's part of the problem there. That's part of your main problem on what you're doing when you're doing this stuff. So that's why it's very important to where you go through this. Make sure that you do your studies. Make sure you do your due diligence on your side, because when someone tell you, well, they walk with God and they want to pretend and they tell you all this just other stuff, don't have nothing to do with anything, just stuff, and you go do your study and now you're seeing in there how to walk with God. Not by what Elder Johnson said, not by what this person said, not what this person said. You see it for yourself to where you can take it right back out and give it to someone else. So that's the point. Then you got you can go into a spiritual side of it, which is spiritual precepts, which will take you even deeper into it and go through it. The same way with the Precept Bible will help you go deeper into it and show you even deeper things in there. But you need to make sure as you do your studies, you want to make sure you don't veer off into a whole bunch of stuff. Because you see, they went into a lot of other things. But you see here, we stayed with how to walk with God. Didn't veer from it, and we stayed to the Bible in this entire time. And that's your key to all things. So with that, until next week, we might change the date. If anything, I'm going to try to keep the same date, but we might change the date. And we want you to go through these studies. Make sure, because next week, you guys might ask about this, and we're going to be on another assignment. So these are assignments, and these are things to which you can go through these studies, and we'll be going through these studies together. So if you have questions, you ask the questions. You can ask them. You can put them in the comment section, and you have a question, but don't ask the question based on something else. We got to be walking with God. So if you're sitting there, oh, tell me, can you tell me? No, it's not going to be answered. 9 times out of 10, it will be deleted, because we're going to stay right there on that study. Number 2, again, if you have not joined over with the Precept Mastery, we're going to move actually after today. They're going to move this video over there anyway, because we're going to start moving all the stuff for that over there anyway. So if you haven't joined, just join over there. And, it's still one of the same, and you can see Precept Mastery on King James Bible University homepage. So that's what we want to do. And just make sure as you go through, do your studies, do your due diligence, as you're walking, as you're working, as you're doing it, that should be on your mind. How to walk with God. Because he's going to give you other things. And you're going to get, now when you go in the New Testament, you're going to find a lot of examples on how to walk with God. You're going to find a lot of examples on how to walk with God. And those are what those are. So you have a lot in the Old, but you have more examples in the Old to help you. So I want you to do your due diligence and fill that up, because it's way more than you need. And I just wanted to be generous enough to where we can go through here, to where we can get that good kick start off to where you can go through it. So with that, we're gonna end it on this. But as I said, I want you guys to always remember, as we go through other things, to where we'll be doing this. And as we go through this, we'll learn more. You're going to learn according to precepts. And as you learn according to precepts, once you understand precepts, you'll hate every false way. So with that, I'm going to bid each and every one a shalom. You enjoy the rest of your day. And until then, I'm Elder Johnson. You're with Precept Mastery class. Till then, shalom.